Iron right moaning for Bigfoot.
Hello, welcome to SJU. I'm Roth Cornet. Happy Monday. We're going to talk about the Joker, Mary Poppins, and streaming movies maybe coming to IMAX. Dan Murrell.
What?
We're going to
That's
have
weird.
thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Spencer Gilbert.
Good morning.
Good morning. Joe Starr.
Welcome home.
Welcome. Thank you. I welcome you too to the remaining home that you've been at. I missed you guys. I did. I was away. I was in Forks, Washington at a Twilight Festival. We're going to talk more about that along the coming weeks and months.
Tease it.
I can't even begin to process it just yet. I'm still taking it all in. It's still working its way through. I got home at 1:30 a.m. last night, so strap in. The first Joker photos appeared online. I think this was yesterday. This is via Slash Film. The movie is actually happening. Todd Phillips posted the first look on his Instagram account. This is the first time that you actually believe the movie is happening, Dan?
No, I still do not
You
believe
still don't believe it?
I will not believe it until October 4th, 2019, when the end credits roll, that this movie actually exists.
Well, he captioned this Arthur, suggesting that that's perhaps the real name of the Joker in this telling of the character. There's also a few other photos released of Joaquin Phoenix, as you can see.
That's where the Joker got his nose.
Yeah, working with clowns.
Finally explained.
And here's supposedly there's still the Jared Leto Suicide Squad version of the Joker, but Warner Brothers and DC are developing a new Origins banner, and that's where some of these other films are going to get made that can be separate from the DCEU. And this is coming to
Are they all
us.
origin stories?
I don't know, and I kind of wondered, like, the name hints it, but I would think they wouldn't be shackled to that, right?
X-Men tried that. It didn't work out too good.
It did not, no. This is going to be on October 4th, 2019. Dan, do you believe it?
I believe something's coming out that day. I mean, yeah, obviously it's going to happen, but it's most anticipated 2019 already for me, in the sense of just like, what the hell?
What is this going to be?
Yeah.
What's going on?
What do you guys think? Does this fit in line with what you thought you would be seeing from this movie? These images?
This isn't much, right? Like,
Yeah.
this is two stills of, it could be anything. Could be a flashback or a misdirect or whatever. But if you want to speculate about what's in his grocery bag for 20 minutes, I mean, we can do that.
What do you
That's
think
what
is
we're
in
here
the
for.
grocery bag?
Bring up the pictures,
Yeah,
JT.
bring it back up, JT.
We did it. We did this really well with Henry Cavill's video last week, Roth.
Yeah.
I think
He's been collecting clowns' noses, and that is just a nose bag. That is just a full-on nose bag.
nose bag. Yeah.
He's just been
I
clowns
mean,
around
this
town.
is the scariest circus I think I've ever seen, is what it looks like to me. This is like the rundown. This is like Coney Island after 20 years and no one's been there, and they're trying to revitalize it
Which I'm
and
into.
have some kind of show.
Bring that
and
back
it's
up,
like,
JT. Is that a cigarette? Over
That
in
is, yeah.
He's
Oh.
smoking a sick.
The Joker's a
smoking
smoker!
But
Confirmed!
you know what? That's how you know he's evil.
And that's how you know he is the Jared Leto Joker, because Jared Leto Joker definitely vapes. So
Yeah.
you can see the whole
See the
arc of
difference.
his nicotine
Yeah.
addiction.
He's trying to get a little healthier.
Age-wise, though, he's maybe the vaping turned him to look remarkably younger. Because
does
this is
that.
like a
That's the
Confirmed.
secret.
But the interesting thing is that Joaquin Phoenix does look like he would be turning to become the Joker a little later in life.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
that's true.
I would think by the time you're that age, you're a little tired for arch villainy.
I mean,
The beginnings of it.
the Joker origin story that is the most famous one. He was middle aged. He had he had a wife. He had a kid. Right. You know, he had been a struggling comedian for many years. Jack Nicholson was middle aged. You know, I
That's
think
true.
we're the last 10 years have been the young Joker years, but perhaps we're swinging. The pendulum swings back to give those middle-aged actors a chance to.
I don't need young Joker in my
stuff.
life. I don't care about teen CW Joker. I want old, grizzled Joaquin Phoenix.
Burnout, broken Joker.
Like, on the comedian timeline, he is at the right character age to blame everybody else for failing as a comedian and turning into a clown murderer.
Yeah, middle-aged men are like by far the most likely to snap than anyone else.
He's there. He found it.
Like,
You guys
falling-
are making excellent points.
He definitely looks a little Andy Kaufman-y.
Yeah.
Definitely
vibe
leaning
too.
into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I again, Dan, like, for me, I think I'm with you, or this is becoming my most anticipated film just for the pure curiosity factor.
I still am on board. I find this movie insanely interesting. I think Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor. If anyone has a chance to pull off a creepy new take, it's him. And it's just weird, though. It's just strange.
To answer your question more directly, Roth, when you were like, is it what you expected? I don't want to have any frame of reference for this movie. Like, I don't want this to be based on any comics lore. I just want this to be its own weird crazy thing, and it seems like that's what we're getting. So I'm still crossing my fingers and hoping this is just bonkers.
Joaquin Phoenix too. If they I was talking about this the other day, I wish that they would give Oscars for like a body of work over 1 year, because Joaquin Phoenix this year, You Were Never Really Here, he was incredible in. And then Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, I thought he was amazing in. And then he's got another movie coming out called The Sisters Brothers in a couple months with John C. Reilly, which the trailer looked really good. It's just like he's
the real deal,
amazing.
man.
Everything that he's been in this year, he's been amazing in. So
Sounds like they're taking suggestions for Oscar categories. So
Yeah.
we might be able to get that in.
The acting categories. Why is it that you have to? I remember like back in the days, like they would talk about how they counted the votes, and if an actor had 2 roles, then they would count the votes for both until one of them pulled ahead, and then they'd stop counting the votes for the other one. But then that one there could have been a late surge, but nobody knows because they just went with that one. And for one category, you can do like supporting and lead actor, but like I think that
They have lead, lifetime achievement awards.
Yeah,
But
they do.
they could just do actor of the year.
But it'd
Year
be even more
achievement.
FUBAR to figure out how to take votes for a body of work over a year. But it just sucks that sometimes an actor can be great in 3 or 4 different movies that taken combined maybe is Oscar worthy, but maybe singularly the movies are too small
not
or
big
whatever.
enough.
It's not big enough. Yeah.
Even if it's not an award, and they just take a minute at the Oscars to be like, also, this dude had a hell of a 2018. Like,
Yeah.
nice work. Like, it doesn't have
Remember
to
the
be a voted
McConaissance?
award, but
yeah, the McConaissance.
Yeah.
But he actually did get rewarded for
He
that.
did. He did get
That
rewarded, but he
culminated.
was in like a bunch of.
That was the
I
peak of
think-
the
I think
McConaissance,
we,
and the downhill was after that
Right,
award
well,
speech.
I
Where he
think it
said,
was-
"I am my own idol. I am the best.
My hero's
My
myself
hero
in
is
10
me
years.
in the future."
Well, that and the Lincoln commercial. I think the Lincoln commercial
fine.
riffing on the flat circle speech was also a harbinger of the end of the McConaissance. But you know what it is? It's that we take Joaquin Phoenix and actors like him for granted because they're always amazing. They're consistently amazing. They consistently choose interesting films. But Matthew McConaughey was like, oh, it's like the Bongos guy for so many years, like
Yeah.
without the shirt, and he's super high all the time, which is fine. But then it was like he's doing this amazing work, so we reward the surprise.
The
I think.
improvement, yeah.
Yeah, that was like a best improved award.
Yeah.
He also has turned down a bunch of things in terms of franchises like this. Like he's not been interested. Kevin Feige really wanted him for Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Oh
That's
yeah, I
right.
remember
Yeah.
people that, whatever that Comic-Con was. They're like, Joaquin Phoenix gonna walk out on
Yeah.
stage because he's the new Doctor Strange.
It's like not at all. So you have to think that if there must be something to this to get him involved, something that he finds interesting enough to at least take the journey. Whether I think he's probably the kind of guy that's like, I don't really care if it's good. I think it's an interesting role. I'm gonna do
Yeah, I
it.
mean, I remember seeing some interview with him where he's like, "Look, I know this character has a lot of history, but I approach every single role exactly the same." So it's like, okay, like he's not comparing himself to any other ones.
I'd honestly be fine if what was that weird documentary he made where he was a rapper?
Oh, you were never. No.
I'm
I'm
not
not
here.
here.
I'm not
I'm not.
there.
There's a lot. I'm not
If this
there.
turned out to
There's a
be-
lot of
yeah,
I'm
if this-
not.
Bob Dylan
We
movie?
are. Wait a minute. Leave it in comments. There's no one to read it. We're the only people
no,
here
don't
today.
think twice. I think is the Bob Dylan one. Anyways,
It does, I just, even if this ends up being a weird, like, documentary thing where Joaquin Phoenix just wanted to mess with people about like franchise movies, and like 20 minutes into the feature, the film stops and he just starts directly addressing the camera while he removes his clown makeup. Like, I'm
Oh.
so into that movie.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm fine with
God.
it.
Well, now I'm more into that. Damn it, Joe.
I'll just make it.
Worst cinema score ever.
Ugh. Mary Poppins is not going to do that
Not
in
at
the
all.
middle of the movie. But the trailer did drop today. It's very pretty. What did you guys think?
It's very Mary Poppins-y. I like the handmade, whether it is hand drawn. It certainly looked hand drawn animation parts. Looks like it's very much in the spirit of the first movie. There's a couple other things that I'm just like, not with this movie in particular, but just with the sort of like, we talked about this, how Disney sort of seems to have groupthink sometimes, where like all of their projects have one theme that seems to override them, and it's like they all were in writers' rooms next to each other, and the ideas seeped because it's like, I saw Christopher Robin, and this is like the same thing. It's like, hey,
Yeah,
remember
fix these
those
grown-ups.
kids from the first movie? They're really grown up and depressed. So here's the person from when they were kids to come and cheer them up again. It's not a judgment on this movie so much more than the fact that like
We
it's
just
the
saw this.
exact same premise as the Christopher Robin movie that they
Well,
just.
you know,
But isn't that the
which is the
premise premise
same
of a
premise
lot
as
of
Hook.
Disney movies. I mean,
Yeah,
aren't like a
they're
lot
hooking
of
us.
right? But aren't a lot of Disney movies like based on the premise that adulthood is really a living nightmare?
kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
I think so, but it's usually told through the child's perspective, and it's this spiritual sequel, I guess, actual sequel of like those people who were full of wonder. Now they're depressed, and they're gonna need a magic nanny again to show them the way.
I mean, what's that Armageddon Deep Impact scenario?
But if the same company was making both,
yeah, they're in different. Yeah, like we're all adults are very sad right now.
Yeah.
And it's in the air, and everybody needs a Mary Poppins and a bear that doesn't.
she's
wear
not
pants.
coming, Joe. She's not coming back. We have to do it ourselves.
Think.
It does look beautiful.
It looks very beautiful. Dick Van Dyke. I'd like to see him dancing on the tables.
Yep.
Doing his thing. That's fun.
Angela Lansbury. That was
Angela Lansbury.
That was a cool treat.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at it. Look at President Snow just dancing it up on that thing.
he does look. I was thinking that
does
too.
look like he's got the
Like,
rose.
very much.
Tetanus.
My only criticism, and it's I really do think this Lin-Manuel Miranda's accent is too good. It needs to be so bad.
Like really bad.
I don't think that
my only-
Lin-Manuel Miranda can do bad acting. I think even
No,
if
he
the
can't.
role, in order to be good in a role, it had to be bad, he couldn't do it.
Yeah. Oh, years of musical theater training have led up to this moment for him to be English.
Yes. English and sing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I don't know. I mean, I
I'd
think
like to see him play a serial killer. I don't think he could play scary or depressed.
He's
He's always full of too much joy.
He's going to
so
be in the
happy.
upcoming third standalone Joker movie.
yeah, exactly.
Which, you know what? I'll watch. I'll totally watch. Yeah, this was super pretty and fun, and looks like the songs will be good.
I think you're right too. It's like why not have a bit of like youthful optimism in our lives, even if it's just for an hour and a half before we come out. Hey, it's a very busy December that it's being released in. So how do you think this is actually going to do? It's going up against, Bumblebee is a big question mark for me about how well that's actually going to perform. But Aquaman is coming out, and I can wager a pretty solid guess around that. So what do you think?
It's this movie, Bumblebee, Aquaman, Mortal Engines, Alita. A
lot of which are question
another big one, but this is I think there's like bait, and then there's the movies that are going to take the money away from some of those movies. I think this is going to be the movie that takes money away from. I'd be really surprised if this was the one that was a huge disappointment. I think this is the one that the other ones have to be worried about, because it's I don't know. Spider-Verse too is right in that in that cluster of like there's like 12 days with like 6 huge tentpole can't miss blockbusters coming out. I'm like, why would you do that? It's so weird to me that
Everybody
all
thinks-
the studios are just like, we're all gonna compete for once. Like you can get like last year you had Jedi and Jumanji and Greatest Showman, and that was, I mean, they all sort of like traded off for a while, but it's like you could do 3, maybe 4, but like 6.
That's a lot over 2 weeks.
That's crazy. But yeah, I think this is the behemoth that is going to take the money away potentially from the other one.
I think you're right, because it's a family film.
Alita's going to be a weird sell. I think it looks cool from the stuff I saw at San Diego, but
Mortal Engines is a big question mark.
yeah, Mortal Engines is a weird sell. Battle Angels, if it was on its own, I could see people being like, yeah, okay, but like when that's up against like Aquaman and Mary Poppins, those are the two I think are going to be the big ones. I think people are going to be like, Blu-ray. Like, there's too many hurdles for my brain to jump watching this trailer, so I'm just gonna go see Mary Poppins. I know what that is.
I tend to agree with you guys. Families are going to want to see this. Bumblebee is a real big question mark for me. I hope it does well, because I hope it's good. But the other two are the ones where I'm like, hey, I will be shocked if Alita and Mortal Engines are actually in the game at all.
I agree. I think they're move. It's not too
Move
late.
it.
It's not too late.
It's not too
Move
late.
it.
I know you put a lot
Yeah.
of money and time into like saying what day it's coming out, but like
You'll make more in January.
You're gonna make more than you lose changing the
think-
dates on your posters.
Oh,
Like,
and
just
Spider-Verse will kill.
Just move it. Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Verse is like the first one to
Yeah.
hit, so I think it's just far enough away. I think like those penguins, and they're very furry. Far enough away that it can have its own little corner before everything else, this whole glut of stuff comes out.
Yeah.
But yeah. If I were Mortal Engines and Alita, just like go, just March, February. I
Yeah,
don't know,
February,
somewhere,
February.
not where they are.
Yeah, Alita's got that challenge of like, there's been a bunch of bad anime movies ahead of you, and yours
Alita?
is.
Battle Angel.
Yeah, it's based on a
on the R&B singer Aaliyah?
Alita.
Although I would watch Battle Angel Aaliyah. Like
That would get me right back in. If this was Romeo Must Die, the anime, I mean,
yeah, I would.
done.
Yeah. We should write that.
Done. Okay, also
Okay.
done.
We'll see you guys.
Yeah. See
Bye.
you in December.
We're gonna work on Battle Angel Aaliyah. Must die.
I think we've come across a lot of career moves that we could all be making this morning to make more money. So bye. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But Universal, I know you're listening, and you should move. You should move your movie.
It's not too late.
It's not too late.
Not too late.
Mortal Engines.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's not Mortal Engines' fault. It's nobody's fault, but it needs to go to February where it stands a chance. You're welcome for this PSA. Who's releasing Battle Angel? It's Paramount, right? Is it Paramount?
James Cameron's and Robert Rodriguez's friend.
Anyway, that should move
Yep.
you. Although you never know. Maybe it'll be like the shocking. No, it won't.
Maybe it'll be the Avatar.
If any of them are
You never
really,
know.
You never know.
I can see a situation where, and look, I don't think this is gonna happen, so don't jump on me, but where Aquaman sucks and one of those two gets rave reviews, and it's like, okay, if Aquaman's a complete dud and it has like one weekend where people see it,
Yeah.
And
one of the other ones is like, oh my god, 97%, Aaliyah Battle Angel has blown my mind. I didn't know Jet Li and DMX were in it. Like, it's gonna. I can see it taking its place.
So there's
Wait, is
so
it
many
exit movies
people
now?
that are going to
Is that-
be.
is that the movie they were
DMX is in
together?
Romeo Must Die, I think.
Wait, but Jet Li and DMX. Wasn't that a different movie?
Oh, maybe.
That's from Cradle to the Grave.
Cradle to the Grave.
Yeah,
All right.
that's Cradle to the
I was
Grave.
thinking of another DMX movie.
I just like that we're thinking more about the DMX Assance, which was a very underrated Assance
Yes.
from the late 90s.
Definitely.
Oh boy.
Belly.
So in other weird news, this one is interesting to me. Do you want to hear what my tea has to say to us today?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of
Spill the
wisdom.
tea.
I'll spill
Oh,
the
you're
tea on the tea.
very literally reading.
wow.
I'm very literally reading my tea bag. If we are happy, everybody looks up and shares our happiness. So there you go. IMAX is
Also
trying
an
to
Aaliyah
get the
lyric.
streaming services to release their films, so Amazon and Netflix in IMAX, which I know that sounds a little strange. So let's unpack this. This is via THR and /home. I said unpack. Drink your orange juice. IMAX CEO Richard Gelfand was speaking at the Goldman Sachs Communications Conference last week. I bet that was a party. And said that IMAX active discussions with the streaming services to have them release their films in IMAX. Obviously, what's tricky about this is that, first of all, Netflix and Amazon talked about buying their own theaters to like get rid of the middleman for distribution. They probably want to do some kind of Oscar runs for some of them. To be in contention for that. But to release in IMAX, then I think it can't be day and date because you're not going to pay
why
the
would you?
$16 to go see an IMAX movie that you can just watch at home, I think, for most people.
Well, and most of them aren't big enough. Like,
and most of them aren't big enough.
To all the boys I've loved before.
Yeah.
Don't need to see
Really
that on
good
IMAX.
movie,
Yeah.
and enjoy watching it at home. And I love the shared theatrical experience. But would I pay $16 to go see that movie in IMAX?
I would like to see that awakening happening in IMAX. No, I'm watching that at home on my couch with a bucket of ice cream, as you do. However, that said, are these films being shot in IMAX?
I don't know.
I mean, that's the other thing for me is like, so they're talking about they're spending $150 million on Six Underground, $90 million on Bright. Oh, Lordy.
This is very weird. This just seems weird.
So,
I mean,
but-
it's got to be moving forward. They
Yeah.
if this goes through, then Bright 2, Electric Brightaloo would be shot in double, triple 70 millimeter IMAX.
I mean, is this something where
Does that seem dumb?
well, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Bright 2 sounds dumb. But,
Okay.
Yes, no. I mean, it depends. Don't they do a Planet Earth and like big docks and stuff like that?
Yeah.
They could do that in IMAX.
True.
That's
it's
true. Those are so pretty.
look, they have all the money in the world. They can spend it on doing big visual blockbusters.
I mean,
if
is
they
this
want.
something where instead of you pay your $16 at the theater, you pay an extra $1 or $2 on your Netflix account and you get to go see these for free?
That'd be cool.
Okay, into it.
Yeah.
Makes more sense to me.
I would do that. Would you do that?
There'd have to be at least a week of theater exclusivity, or else, and it'd have to be limited. Bright 2, I could see if they want to be like, see it on Netflix December 24th, see it on Christmas Eve. What a way! See it in IMAX December 17th. Like, okay,
Yeah.
there's a way to make it work, but then it's like,
If they
do you
taught-
run the risk of pissing off your Netflix customers who are like, wait a minute, I paid money to see these. Why do I have to wait a week? Or you know, I think you do have to figure out a way to discount it or window it, or just something, because it does make sense for some things, but IMAX, like, if it was theatrical, that's one thing, but IMAX, like, that's. You don't go see every movie in IMAX.
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing. That's got to be a thing.
And you run the risk of you never want to go full Inhumans, and they went full Inhumans already, and that was
because it costs so. I mean, you know, the way that IMAX is like if you're running something in IMAX, you have to, like, that's a very limited. There's not a lot of movies playing in IMAX at one time. It's like you're the IMAX release for that week, so you have to find a week that works, or you know, like, that's not a cheap proposition to be like, we are going to be the movie in IMAX. I'm sure that there's some guarantees that you have to make. It's like, you don't want to rent out a weekend of IMAX movies and nobody shows up. IMAX is not going to be happy with that.
No, and I guess for me, for any format, I know many people hate 3D, which I get, but there have been some beautiful 3D films. I'm looking at you, Jackass 3D, and I'm not entirely kidding.
No, that's a great movie. That's like the best use of 3D.
Use of 3D.
Yeah,
but also, like, whether you like Prometheus or not, it looked good. Tron looked good.
Hubble 3D, you ever see that at the Science Center?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
man.
mean, like, but to me, it's like, if it's shot and intended for that format, that's when I'm interested in seeing it that way. But I'm not hugely interested in seeing conversions, whether they're 3D or IMAX.
Great British Bake Off
Yeah.
in IMAX.
You can feel the soggy
All
bottom.
right.
I had a thought
Say
about
more
that show
things.
this morning.
What was it?
What if, because you know they changed it and it's all the new hosts and stuff. What if Paul Hollywood is just as freaked out about that as we are, and like no one on set's acknowledging it, and he's living a Black Mirror episode where he just showed up to the Bake Off and Mary Berry's gone and the hosts are all gone, and it's just really weird for him. That's all.
It's a solid Joe thought.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll see you guys later.
Uh-oh.
Oh, he's committing
He-
to the
he did the
bit.
walk-off.
I think he's leaving.
He did the
Is
Joe
he
Starr
leaving the room?
walk-off.
He's
Yeah.
sitting down. All right, well, screw
We
it.
didn't set up that camera, Joe. You can't.
Is this not on?
No, it's not on.
Billy's not
Billy's
here
not.
today,
Billy's sick.
so that explains all of this. Any other thoughts on that IMAX? What do you think?
Well, no.
All right.
Yeah.
You good?
Ty
You feel
Bowen it.
good?
Yeah.
You feel good, Joe? Any
good.
other?
Yeah,
stray
sorry
Joe
I had to
thoughts?
get that out.
No, I was glad it was out.
Yeah. I would.
Better out than in.
Yeah, no, that's what I always say about pretty much everything. I totally would watch docs. I think that's the way you go with Netflix.
Big
in
nature
IMAX.
docs.
Yeah.
Blue Planet.
Yeah, you sold me on
Yeah.
reminding me of elementary school field trips to the Science Museum to watch like Hubble stuff in 3D. Yep.
Yeah. They did
All
one
right.
on movie
Super
effects
into it.
when I was a kid. It was great.
Ooh, that's
And here
cool.
you are.
Like movie special effects.
Oh,
great.
in an IMAX theater?
Yeah, they did. It was they did. Oh, it was the opening scene. They remastered. This is before they actually did it. They remastered the opening to Star Wars so that it was in the IMAX format and the ship flying overhead and the lasers. And then they showed like how they. I know they're not lasers. Well, I guess they are lasers. Whatever.
Sure.
Then they showed the White House blowing
turbo
up, and then
lasers.
it's like the raw footage of them blowing up the model of the White House on Independence Day, and there's a whole King Kong thing. It's really cool. I don't know if anyone else saw that or remembers it, but there was an IMAX documentary about special effects.
I don't
really
remember
dig
that.
that.
Check
But
it
I
out.
would legitimately watch that right now. Maybe
Yeah.
we can find it on streaming. Apparently, they're getting into business together. That's what I've just been told from this page that's in front of me right now. Thanks for joining us today, team. By that, I mean me. We have Charting
glad you
with
made
Dan.
Yeah, we're glad you made it back alive.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have entirely. There's a whole Yeti situation that we have to unpack.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Team
We have
Yeti.
Charting with Dan. Team Yeti. Oh shit. I blew it. I didn't know Team Yeti through line in this video.
Oh,
Damn
man.
it.
We'll have to send you back.
Oh, send me back to Flux. Post taste. Charting with Dan later today. We have the Honest Trailer commentaries tomorrow. Movie fight. Stacey Howard versus Greg Alba versus Sasha Pearl Raver.
Wow, that's a killer panel.
You guys, tomorrow the Captain Marvel trailer is dropping on Good Morning America. We will be talking about that right here on SJU, so please do tune in. Thank you for being with us today. It's good to be back with you guys.
Good to have you
Yeah,
back.
man.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
Let's go get caffeine. You want
Yes,
to?
let's.
If you don't go out in the sunlight, then we'll know something happened.
Seriously, he shows up and Mary Berry's gone, and just like no one will acknowledge it.